Welcome back to another session of Angry Coach. We're not going for a marathon this time, because I didn't really feel like doing Angry Coach tonight, but people are like, here's my money. And being the professional cam girl I am, I said, well, you pay twice the price. Our very first submission is 4 times, so with those kind of rates, I can't help but bring you a new Angry Coach mini marathon. So, like, subscribe, buckle up, buckle in, get your keyboards ready, turn off spell check, and let's get started. Thank you, and good luck. Platinum Zerg! And, we'll bring the chat up. We're not being too standard about it. With a $60 submission. Let me see if I can read it. Since this is Platinum Zerg, I'll pay double the amount. Sure. Undercrow. Good luck, have fun. Heart. A little familiar for my taste. Can we get some health bars here? So we're sending the second OV. I guess we're sending in the general vicinity of the opponent's base. Close enough. It appears that the Terran is either AFK or proxy rexing. He is proxy rexing. Okay. I was wondering what was happening over there. So far, decent. I mean, the Overlords are going essentially the right direction. Haven't forgotten any key important parts of the build. There is no Expo. There are Marines. So here's the answer. Is if you don't, so usually you'll send your second Overlord to scout for proxy rex. I usually send it out this way and then towards the main. That would not have scouted this. The third Overlord sits near the front to see anything like this coming in. But this is a 4-rax proxy, so not scouting it in any way and having no warning means you probably are dead. But in terms of responses, building 2 spines in the main, as well as, well, on top of building more Zerglings, is usually the way to go. So far, like, there's not too much more you can do here.
The Hive cluster is under attack.
At this point, you just try to buy as much time as possible. It is not easy to defend. And pull the drones. In fact, a solid defense. Honestly. I'm sure that's why he sent it in, but there you go. That is nearly the best. I would say probably the best you could do under the circumstances.
The Hive cluster is under attack.
Like, you don't need the hatch. You need to not be dead. That's most of it. The Terran has no workers. He sent like a significant percentage of them across the map to proxy and also with the Marines. Okay, so those Zerglings were never ever going to have a chance of killing the Marines. That was a waste of like 5 lings. At least we didn't completely commit to it, but at the same time. So what do you do to break out? If it's not actually on the ground, Nidus. One base Nidus. Like, he has how many? He has 12 SCVs. You have gas. You get a lair. He can't come up the ramp. You can't go down the ramp. Not without gambling. So, and there's no way, unless this has been severely misjudged, that he has an expansion or really anything significant at home. One base Nidus. Doesn't have to be roaches. Just getting a Nidus in his base is almost certainly going to work. Because if he had enough units at home to defend against the Nidus, then he doesn't have enough units down your ramp to defend against your units. Can you drop load a drone to ninja expand? Yeah, if you want to spend extra time, energy, and money doing something that is unlikely to work, ineffective, and all around just inefficient, you can. Solid enough clear. Overall, though, like, it's a hard... The Nidus is not 100% of the time the call. If you can break the bottom of the ramp, go ahead and break the bottom of the ramp. That is ideal if you keep... Like, if you don't lose more than a few drones. Like, if you have... Let's say you defend and you have over 14 drones. 14 or more. If you have less than 14, it's a little fuzzier. But if he is proxy rexing you and he's not building bunkers... We're assuming he's mildly competent. Because if you're going for like a 2-Rex, you usually build bunkers. If you're going for a 4-Rex, you just have a fuck ton of Marines. 4 of his very few SCVs are on the other side. If you have 14 drones, you likely have more drones than they have SCVs. So, in that case, you can play like this just fine. But, if you lose a significant amount of drones, you kind of have to commit. That's assuming, of course, he didn't just pull the rest of his SCVs. Like, sometimes that'll happen, and then the game is essentially over once you defend.
Mineral field depleted.
We're getting Nidus, Burrow. Like, no, we're not on that kind of economy. We can't go Nidus and Burrow and 3 Gat. No. It's like we're remembering all the stuff that could have been useful, and no longer is. A big important part. So now we're about to find out whether this beautiful defense will be followed up by a clean win in 4 or 5 minutes. Why so long? Because there's no reason to attack into a Terran player who's on 1 base. You do not need to kill him. He is not building nearly as much as you. All you have to do is wait for him to expand or attack. You do not need to spend money anymore, now that you have an expansion, in doing, like, trying to circumvent him. You can just fight him and win. So now, this was sent in with $60, and that's a lot of bucks. And I don't, like, 3 point, 6 point, 12 point, no point. But Twitch chat sub opportunity in this mini marathon, I'm looking to launder a little of Zalbergarden / Undercrow's money to you. How long left in this? So you know what? How long game is it? Under 10 minutes? Is it 10 to 15? Is it 15.1 to 20? Is it 21 to 20.1 to 30? You know what? I'm gonna make it easier for the people. We're going to do Under 12 minutes. 12 to 20. 20 to 30. Or 30 plus. And if chat... I don't know. I actually don't know because he didn't even send... He doesn't have an SC2 replay stats account. He just uploaded this one replay. 10 subs. 10 subs to the chat. If you're right. Which we will find out immediately. 12 to 20 means he defends, and then as soon as the Terran tries to expand, smashes it. Under 12 means the Nidus just works. 20 to 30 means something has gone horribly wrong, and 30 plus means it's gone horribly wronger. So, we're going to give it 5, 4. Looks like 12 to 20 is the consensus. Or close enough. And the answer is, the people are correct. It's 16 minutes, which is a little on the outside, but right around where he should be smashing either an expansion or maybe a third. I shouldn't have been so generous, but...
New subscriber detected.
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
Wait. We gotta get our thumbnail.
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
New subscriber
YouTube.
detected.
This is the part where everything looks very different than the other parts. There you go. We got it.
Oh, good. Now I have your attention.
That's how it auto-generates thumbnail options. Usually, a professional YouTuber will make their own, but YouTube will try to be like, oh, this part looks different.
Is that all?
And thus,
New subscriber
multitasking.
detected.
Now I have your attention.
So this is the type of stuff you shouldn't at least take a third. Like, this is, when I will give credit where credit is due. And a great defense early, and then a good follow-up, but this is gratuitous. It is 2 base to 2 base. The worker, like, there's only 40 drones. I say 50 drones by 8 minutes. This is one of those few circumstances I could give you, like, okay, 50 drones is maybe a little high, but it gets right back to ground level when you realize you could have, instead of doing this, built a third, Evo chambers, and just more fucking drones. So, you're not that far ahead here. Like, 2 base versus 2 base, even if his 2 base is a little later, he has mules, he has Terran units. Those have been a massive spike in the side of Terrans, in the side of Zergs before. Now is not the time to be spending money to try to attack someone who's on the same amount of bases as you. It is the time to get the rest of the economy you're forgetting. You know, I really thought the 16 minutes when I saw it, like, oh, he gets a third, he macros up, he maxes out, and then he attacks. What I'm thinking now, another sub opportunity, is who wins? Zerg or Terran? This is only 3. Now, this is a harder question, because there's still way more options for our Zerg player. He's still got a lot more going on. It would have to be a lot more than one Nidus to fuck this up. But this does not inspire confidence. The people with a slim majority say Terran. That's why I brought this up, is because now I'm leaning that direction. I do like when people send the drop.sc link, which is just the easiest way to upload a single replay. I'll let you in on a little secret. If you did any clicking around besides just uploading the replay, you'd realize that's also sc2replaystats.com, by the way. It just links to sc2 replay stats. But when people upload that, I know they're not using sc2 replay stats, or otherwise they would have just given me that. So that means they're not focused so much on improvement. As, Winter, check out this replay. I thought I played well, but I still lost. Well, we will see.
Oh, it's so fucking stupid. It hurts so much.
It's those type of moments. Those are the type of moments that inspire 7 more Nidus Worms in the next 4 games. Like, I just waddled 2 slow banes in at the 10.5-minute mark and killed 12 SCVs. 15. I don't know if those... Actually, no. I'm pretty sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry. There's your reason for XP points, even if you're max level. 11 SCVs. You're like, well, 11 SCVs. Let's crunch the numbers here. 11 SCVs is 600. Wait, no. 550 minerals. Plus, we're going to give 12 times 11. That's 132 seconds of production time. But, that was 4 banelings coming through the Nidus, plus the Nidus itself. We're going to count the Nidus as 75, 75. Plus banelings, 50, 25 each. So that's 200. And also 100. Plus the larva. That's 4 larva. No, that's 2 larva right there. I'm sorry. 2 larva. So, on top of this, we've got a total of 275, 175, 2 larva, and that's not including the cost of the Nidus network. Alright? That's not including it. So, with all that, with that economic breakdown, was it worth it? Probably barely. And also not... But let's check the math. It doesn't get old, and if you think it gets old, you have no taste. So go cast with Artosis, or get the fuck out.
With another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the 3-way at sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning, because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one, and then add 66 2/3%, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
Well, there you go. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, what that means is, as good as this feels, was it actually worth it? I answer no. Like many things that feel good at the time, you realize, maybe, you'll regret it later. Oh, now we're going Spire. Okay. Oh, and now we're gonna get everything else. Oh yeah, remember all the things? There's 36 Zerglings, baby. So the proxy regs... At first, I was like, I thought we're dealing with someone who actually knew what they were about. Like, not a goddamn... Like... Your average Platinum Leaguer, especially Zerg, but your average No, not especially Zerg. Your average Platinum Leaguer in general. Mostly Terran and Protoss, not Zerg. Zergs are different. But, they're like, they get, schwiggity-shwasted, I believe is the way to put it. Lit AF, hammered, shellacked, whatever, word you use, no matter what generation you're from, it doesn't matter. But the way they play is like they took 4 shots to actually work up the fucking courage to hit the play button because they're goddamn cowards. But now that they're there, like 9 minutes in the game, they start to sober up a little bit and remember what the fuck they were supposed to be doing. But Zerg players just kept going for it. That's really what many people play like. They're like, well, I'm going to do my build, and I'm just going to react, and oh, whoa, okay, where am I? Oh, shit, okay. Oh, yeah, Immortals and Archons, not Stalkers. Oh, yeah, upgrade. I can get an Armory, and Liberate. Oh, I don't have a Starport. But for Zergs, usually we go throughout, like, we start it. Like, just default state is developmentally off creep, if you would. And then from there, it only gets worse. Because we start with just... Because everyone's heard for years, Zerg is the reactionary race. That is an overgeneralization that people think they know what it means. All people think they know what it means, but they don't. Yes, I know what I'm about. But that doesn't mean you should wait till your opponent does something and react to it. What it means is you have a slightly wider set of options to react to certain things. Like Terran players can't just go bio into mech. But Zerg players can focus more on Hydras, or focus more on Zerglings, or focus more on Roaches, or Mutas. But they're not like, okay, now it's Muta time. No, like, why are we building 36 fucking Zerglings? He didn't have any units. We just killed all his units. The only units he did have were siege tanks and this Liberator. 36 Zerglings are an expensive way of saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm gonna be platinum for mostly the rest of my life. And we're not talking about the music industry that hopefully I don't get banned for, no, but instead, the bad way. I might get banned because of the things I say about Platinum Zergs as well. We'll see what happens first. No. It's too fucking late to build drones. We're at 28 drones. You had every goddamn opportunity. We had a surprisingly and startlingly competent. That's how I'm going to put it. Startlingly competent defense for the proxy racks. And that's where the competence ended. From then, till and everything past it, it has been an unabashed, a obvious and direct way of showing that you have no actual idea what you're supposed to be doing, and you're reacting to your opponent as opposed to being proactive like someone who has map control should. The answer is not trying to kill someone just because they tried to kill you, at least not yet. Oh wow, but you guys were right. I'm just going to gift the subs right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm so fucking competent. I mean, I'm sorry, Freudian slip there. Of course I'm not. But I'm confident that Terran's going to win the game at this point. I'll gift more if I'm wrong. But seeing the mutas, which in every fucking guide, and every tutorial, and even every professional cast pretty much, I've mentioned are not a unit you should be using in like 78% of scenarios, and 178% at Sacrifice, and also in the Platinum League. Just because maybe you main Terran and you realize that players have you yourself have a mental breakdown, but that would take going outside of your perspective as a Zerg player who is burrowing through a tunnel where the only thing at the end are 14 siege tanks behind 3 sets of supply depots. So that, do not believe that he has any Terran perspective. I believe he likes making mutas, and that's how he do. I don't play Zerg much, but what was wrong with how he's using mutas here? So what he did was build mutas. And that means he has to control mutas, which is not something that a man who's on 44 drones at 13 fucking minutes is even remotely capable of doing in any sort of cost-effective way. Let alone, I don't care if he's at 80 fucking drones. Build something that you and your grubby little Bavarian sausage hands cannot fuck up. Usually that's Roach Hydra, the unenthusiastic hand job of unit compositions, because it takes a lot of effort. Just the severe amount of punishment that the Roach Hydra can take compared to the Mutiling Baneling is inspiring. But at the end of the day, if you really want to run into siege tanks against a player who is entrenched and well defended for no discernible reason, you're going to find a way to do that, and there's not much I can do to help you. There you go. That's the value we're looking for. Now bring the mutas in. We opened up the door, and the mutas... You know, I love the timing, though. My favorite part of this timing is that 1-1 is 3 seconds out. So this way, he got rid of all the units that won't have 1-1. You don't want those wasteful Zerglings and Banelings that with 0-0 upgrades. You got to get rid of them so that way the new Zerglings that pop out can get those upgrades. If you're like, wait, that's not how it works, is it? Well, then maybe you shouldn't be making fucking mutas in the first place.
Mutation complete. Our forces are under attack. Mineral field.
Oh, he's certainly going to lose, right? Yeah. Oh, now we're doing all this stuff. Like every time it takes it's obviously, I think the numbers at sacrifice are very important here, because it takes a blood sacrifice to power the handful of neurons he's able to gather together, coerced into working for him occasionally when he's sober enough to have them have some sort of coordination. Well, once that blood sacrifice is spilled, he remembers for between 10 seconds and 28 seconds how to fucking play. But then another sacrifice is in order.
Mineral field depleted. Our forces are under mineral field depleted. Mutation.
Blood sacrifice, actual upgrades. Wow, those are the most... Of course. I don't care. Like, the Zerg didn't win the game. The Terran lost it. Don't do drugs, kids. He stimmed 4 times and then just gave up. So, that is not a win for anyone involved. I grant you, that's... If we were doing that, that's shame. Like, no more Zerglings, or no more attacking before 80 fucking drones. The problem is, he gets, like, it's a B-. You know why? It's a B-. If he never attacked his opponent before he maxed out, then it would have been probably an A- or an A. But unfortunately, he at any point attempted to micro. And that was almost... like at every single attack was, even including the 11 SCV Nidus. Remember that? They were all terrible and dumb. But the defense was actually good. So play more defense, max out, and get yourself too big to fail. It's a lot harder to defend 200 supply of Zerg than it is to defend 27. So that's the most disappointing kind. That is the ADHD alcoholic right there. If you could just concentrate for more than 12 seconds at a time on what the fuck you're supposed to be doing, then maybe you'd actually get to Diamond, but I don't have particularly much hope. Next up is a colony of ant. A platinum Zerg.
New subscriber detected.
So this is what we're doing tonight, eh? That was even better than the last one. So, what a perfect, and they were not coordinated, far as I know. But a colony of ant finds himself in a remarkably similar position. Slightly better, but remarkably similar position to Mr. Undercrow before him. So now, we get to compare, contrast, and continue to take whatever liquid or other medication was prescribed to you by your brain while watching these. Making drones, making a third. So this is... So at this point, I can just be lazy. Better. Good. We've already got plenty of Zerglings, which I don't blame a few extra Zerglings. That's understandable. You don't know exactly how many racks are going to finish, how many Marines he gets out. He probably built a few too many. But he's not like saying, well, I have all these Zerglings, so I need to make Banelings. No. I think he thought about it there for a second, though. And he stopped himself. Like a... No! God damn it! The thing is, if he had immediately gone for the Banelings, like if he had gone for the Banelings, upon seeing a barracks building at the wall, the Baneling nest would now be done, you could build 6 Banelings and win the game. But I don't mind having a Baneling nest, but if we go for a Bane bus, it is too late. We're past the contemplation phase. A Baneling nest is perfectly fine. I recommend Roach Hydra, but the reason, like 60%-ish of the reason I say don't go for Zerglings is not because Zerglings are bad, it's because no one can stop themselves from fucking microing them. They don't have the self-control to stop themselves from being like, well, I have all these Zerglings. The entire intent of the Roach Hydra is to stop you from actually trying to use Zerglings. What a timing. Okay, that's... No. 4 bases. I like the idea. More queens. Any queens. Not another hatch. This isn't Brood War. More queens is the answer. You do not have the money for 4 more. Jimmy, get my binder! Yes, the memes. What do you... Fuck off. So now we're about to see what happens when anyone has any amount of Zerglings. Like, they can't help it. They can't help it. This is a small example. Okay. I mean, I get it. Looking for other bases. But look at how much fucking time this is taking. Look at the sheer amount of energy and effort this Platinum player has to take. All while not building fucking anything else. All he has are like 12 snowlings. And we're 30 seconds behind on a queen. We got no upgrades on the way. We do have a lair for some reason. No drones in production because on the smallest map in the spawning pools, we have to split up. Like, he doesn't have an expo. It's not a... Just priorities. Imagine if he had speed. Oh my god. So, here's your like, queens. How many fucking times? Queens! That's your answer. I don't even care what specific question you could be asking right now. But the answer is queens. Any queen. Any. More than 0. Yeah, but you can't micro queens. That's 1, not true. And 2, not true. And 3, good. You do want to get Zergling speed. We're tilting heavily from... Okay. Well, you're going to need to get one of the buildings that uses that. Appreciate. But, like... Are we just going queens now? I could get on board. You know, I'd board that train. I wouldn't jump into Zalbergarn's fucking Nidus network.
Fresh queen for you.
But if that was what we were riding, then I would hop aboard. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. So the answer here is actually Spire, maybe Hydroden. It's 2 starports on 1 base. There is exceptions to the rule of build roaches, and it's when your opponent is on 1 base with 2 starports.
New queen. Brenda's here.
Is this Terran doing my build? Oh my god, Kybra just has a fucking copyright on building more than 1 starport on 1 base. Unlike the other poor gold leaguers, all of which don't have nearly enough money to gain the name recognition doing the same fucking thing. Terrans have been going 1 base, Banshee, and Battlecruiser since Starcraft 2 came out, and probably going 1 base Battlecruiser since 1998.
The enemy is attacking your swarm.
Okay. Alright. So. Read the room. Read the room. Okay? I'd like to be specific. Leave it to the professionals, unless you're just maybe thinking out loud for yourself. Wow.
Your Zerg have evolved. Queen ready. Brenda's ready to roll.
Okay, so I appreciate the split we have here. Last game, we had 26 drones attacking a 2-base Terran. Now we have 80 drones against a 1-base. This is too many drones. You'll get away with it because he's a diamond. The Terran's actually low diamond, which means he's fucking terrible. You might be like, what about the platinum Terran? Also fucking terrible, but worse. But, like, I like it. I like it. Let's start with that. But this actually is the time. By the way, 78 drones after getting proxy. So I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I guess you don't have to have 50 drones after getting proxy racks. Over here, he's got 80. It's 7 minutes and 37 seconds. And the only way this 737 is gonna crash and burn is if Boeing is in charge and we got Colony of Ants. So I have a little more confidence. This is actually too many fucking drones, though. Like, the answer is, like, 55 drones on 3 base, and also make sure, for sure, you're never going to die. That means, like, get a Spire, get a Roach Warren, and just spam Queens. But I really do like... When you get to Diamond, and I have confidence at this point, it's going to be hard to fuck it up. There's a lot of things you'd have to fuck up here for, like you'd have to have a stroke or something multiple times, which sounds like a bigger issue overall. I like the too greedy and pull it back. Would you rather have too much money and not be able to not figure out how to spend it? Or would you rather not have enough money and constantly be struggling? I like the pretend like we're not using the select all army you did there. And then on first unit, the first unit that actually really attacks, F2 baby, you know how I know? Oh, the Zergling's not scouting for hidden bases anymore? That's crazy. Queen should be on the select all army hotkey. That's why Cyril just hotkeys them all on the same hotkey. But that takes work. Aha. So here's what you're going to want to do. Is ignore the other side of the map. Okay. Like, you know what? Fine. Whatever. It seems like you're playing more than 0 games a season, so... Holy shit. This is where the Baneling... Like, this is why... I don't know how we're down to 69 drones. This is why you stop at, like, 55, 60 drones. This moment is why. Though, I think he's still okay. That's not as many Marines as you think. There's some SCVs in there, too. Also, upgrades are good. Upgrades are very good. 2-2 is done. And they just kind of die.
Your brood is under attack.
I don't think it was necessarily intentional, but I like the not getting Zergling speed this whole time. The actively denied, not just the, like, not getting it, but, like, the actively canceling the Baneling nest. That was the catalyzing moment. On top of the 80 drones, the canceling the Baneling nest made me think you were a real human being. Not just a set of actions and reactions, but instead, using your brain, but not too much. Just the right amount.
Your swarm.
Okay, calm down. Jesus Christ. Victory lap.
Mind out of that. Your brood is under attack.
Is he just gonna make you kill all the buildings? Classic. Classic Diamond Terran. It's always Terrans.
It actually worked this time.
A minus. The minus is because like for getting queens, because you're microing any amount of Zerglings, and getting 80 drones against one base is obviously not the correct prioritization. But it definitely, in the scheme of bad priorities, it is not even remotely the worst. Thankfully, I don't have to explain it too much because we watched the last game. That's a B. You kidding me? According to who? The hope score, for those who don't know, is my confidence that if you're playing a medium amount of games, an average amount of games, 5 per league, 5 per league per week. So 5 for bronze, 10 for silver, 15 gold, 20 for plat. If you're playing 20 games a week in the next month, how confident I am you'll rank up. And then at diamond, rank up 1 tier. But before that, just an entire league. And A- says I have pretty strong confidence that if you're playing 20 games a week within the next month, you will be diamond. It's a hope rating. Well, what kind of rating? I'd like to hear what kind of rating you thought it was. I'd like to know, like, what you interpreted it as.
Confirmed.
Bad.
I thought it was overall performance. I'd still give it an A- in context. Because hope rating is just overall performance based on what league and matchup you're in. That's kind of what it fucking means. It's not like if you played against Cyril, then how would you do? If I played against Cyril, I get dunked on just as bad as a County of Ants would get dunked on by me. Probably significantly worse, because Cyril is higher MMR, like over 2,000 higher MMR than me, whereas I'm only like 1,000 higher MMR, maybe 1,500 than Colony of Ants. I think a lot of people don't realize what an exponential curve really means. Like Cyril to anyone but Rainer, and Big Gabe, pretty much. Maybe Showtime on a good day. Cyril to a rank 50 GM is the same as me to like a Platinum Leaguer. That is the level of MMR difference, and I would say relative skill difference. Like, there is no fucking chance in hell if there's money on the line, and I'm really, like, focused on the game in any meaningful way, I'm losing to a Platinum Leaguer. And there is no way, in any meaningful way, Cyril's losing to a rank 50 GM. Like, now, between me and that Platinum Leaguer are, like, 30,000 players. But between Cyril and that rank 50 GM are 49 players. Thank you, Neopolo. I'm bad. Yeah, we all are. So this is the Fluffy Puppy, who is a gold Protoss. Okay, so there's something that happened here. Twitch chat sub opportunity! I'm gonna give you 2 options. The question is, what is it? You know what I mean. What is it? Siege tanks or anything else? Is it siege tank? It could be battle cruiser. It could be liberator. It could be like just a straight up bio army. Is it siege tanks? Or is it anything else? Widow mines. Remember, widow mines exist. That's up there too. Anything that requires detection is automatically 3 times as strong. Gonna give it 3, 2. The people say siege tanks. Okay, we will see. So gold Protoss. Like, the big struggles are usually setting up your buildings in the right place. You've got, like, making sure you actually get tech. Like, I don't mean, like, getting a robo, but, like, getting a robo bay or getting a forge. Making sure you put your pants on the right direction. Actually controlling multiple spellcasters. Like, having basic empathy for other human beings. And also understanding that when you're scouting, you're not just doing it for show. And they're not necessarily cheesing you just because they have any buildings. Well, strike one. This is a fucking disaster already. That's, you build your pylon on 14. Not 13. If only there was some sort of build order guide. Is there an S hope score? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Let me check the rubric. Maybe. So yeah, that's one of the sickest chrono boosts. Like, don't chrono boost fucking nothing. I don't know, like, what do you want from me?
Your probes are under attack.
So this is your classic, like, now I'm microing just because you can. Doesn't mean you should. This goes for many things. Many, many things. Cybercore. Let's refer to the build. Let's see if we got a quick build order guide. Jimmy, bring up the guide. You know where this is going. "14 pylon, 16 probe, chrono boost, build a gate, scout with the probe, 17 assimilator, 2 more probes, 19 probe can go down the ramp. If he's already there, build a cyber core instead. Now 21 gas, 21 pylon, 22 if you won't forget, but you will forget, so stop fucking around. On the other side, does he have a gas? Yes, then you need maybe 2 build units. But if he has a Rex and just 1 gas, you're fine. Stop freaking out. Where's your second pylon? You need a pylon. You are platinum. Do you want to be diamond? Well, guess what? Fuck you. Build a second pylon. Where's your second pylon? You need a second pylon. Build a second pylon. So, unfortunately, we may have to remedy this soon. This has become ingrained in many people, especially sending an angry coach. But a lot of people are like, yes, it's called build a second pylon. I build second pylon. And ignore every other part of it. It's like Gundam style. I know the part where he says fucking Gundam style, but he says a lot more shit. And in your defense, most of it is not in English. But that's essentially what you're taking. It's a second pylon. I get a say. No! The timing is relevant! The timing is fucking relevant! It doesn't come before your cyber core, before your expand. It doesn't come after both a second gas and you steal the second gas. It doesn't go at the bottom of the ramp. If you have no plans on expanding, you might be like, I do plan on expanding. Well, it doesn't fucking look like it, because this is not the build to expand. This is the build that demonstrates to me all you heard was second pylon. And the rest was just mumble rap, apparently. So, I'm like, okay, all right, you got it.
Base is under attack.
I'm excited, just like you, to find out what happens next in the build.
Base is under attack.
At some point, we'll figure out what that is. Oh, it's expo time, okay.
Base is under attack.
What tech is it gonna be? I'm too lazy to do a poll, but take your guess. I think Robo? Oh god. Never mind. It's not gonna be tech. It's gonna be another gate.
I'm here in the shadow.
See? You gotta take a second, you gotta think. This is Gold League. He has no fucking plan and no attention span. So he's gonna slam another gateway at his natural and say, alright fam, come on. And there you... Did I actually say, and then the Robo? Because that's where I was going, but I got so excited when he put down the gate that You'll just have to believe me, but that is where it was going. Like, I have a plan. Okay, I'd love to hear it. What's your plan? Fluffy Puppy. I didn't know if he was even here. Tell me your plan. Now's a good time. Doesn't have to be detailed. Charge Lot Archon Immortal. No. Charge Lot. Archons. Then that's the build. Gucci mortals. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry. Are we supply blocked? Ah, Twilight. I usually expand after Cyber and then build 2 gates and add Robo. You know, I'll give him credit. Because sometimes people will come in and be like, I think I do this, or this is my plan. And then, like, on the screen, that's not what they're doing. Like, they could have just looked at the screen and been like, that's not right. So, at the very least, Fluffy Puppy is able to be like, this is what's happening on the screen. So, if we give him the benefit of the doubt, which we're not, that is his plan, and he's actually following through. But, at the very least, he's not contradicting his own build that's currently on the screen. So, there you go. That's something.
I'm here in the shadows.
That is barely that. Like, that is the basic standard that we have reached.
Research complete.
We're just kind of throwing gates and pylons. We're just... I mean, there is an expo. He's building some probes. Like, this is... It looks like, the middle school's, basketball team of plans here. Like, no one can really shoot, so the score ends up being, like, 44 to 32. But they kind of, like, they know the rules, and, they kind of know how to pass a little. So, and then there's one guy who's pretty good at shooting. Uh-huh. Was that the one builder probe who came back all the way? Hey, we have a builder probe. He didn't go to 4 years of probe school to have anyone else try to build all the buildings. Okay, all his friends said just go to trade school and you can mine minerals all your life, and he didn't want that for himself. Oh. So here are the options. If he kills that Reaper, once this Reaper dies, if no other units are on the screen, this is very important. If no other units are on the screen, it's Forge time. Are you guys excited? But if there are other units on the screen, I have no idea. But if that Reaper dies and no other units, it's Forge time. Oh. That's a lot of Stalkers. I think, like, he does have enough focus. It still might be Forge time. So close. Just kind of distributing the production evenly. Nope. Nope. It's like assorted Skittles. There's only so many options of things that you're going to build, or Skittles flavors, but we just kind of like have to get lucky we get enough of them. And there's always like, it's the gateways or like the purple Skittles. I don't know. I don't like people who like the purple Skittle. Purple Skittle, unless they've changed the... It's been like 6 years, I think, since I've had Skittles. But I will say, like, it's whatever... The gateways are whichever Skittle is overrepresented and underappreciated, or just kind of shitty. Remove the big red X on the screen. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna add one for Twitch chat for not knowing what the fuck they're talking about. When chat gets 3 strikes, I'm just gonna start banning people. Twitch chat's at 1 strike. Fluffy Puffy is at 1 strike. Damn, bro, relax. You know, I've got, like, it's a great question. I'd like everyone to help answer a question that Itzwiffer has posed in his handful of chat messages since following 2 years ago. Thank you. How many times a day do you eat? Repeated 3 times in 4 minutes. Now, that was years ago. Thank you for your participation in the chat. I appreciate the productive additions to the conversation you've historically added to this day.
I return. Mineral field depleted.
I don't remember if I answered the question at that time. You see, it's out of context. Only when you say things that you desire more context is when we bring... So, like, it's not fair. We don't know what was happening in chat at that time. Maybe there was a strong amount of yeeting. You don't know. And, like, it's a legitimate question. Like, everybody has things they said on the internet at some point. They're like, you know what? One, might not remember it. Two, even if they do, they might not. And some people are like, yeah, that's me, bro. Like, I am who I is. And if you can't handle me at my best... Wait, why did you ban me?
I return to serve.
So it's not going to be siege tanks, I don't think, guys. Here's a tip. There's a select all warp gates hotkey. It exists. Okay. So were we reading this army graph wrong? Or what? Oh. Wait. No. How is this game? I'm sorry, wait. So, no, he wins the fight. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. I'm sorry. Never mind. We're not done yet. Spoilers. Why is there a forge not upgrading in main, or is it me? I don't think you've upgraded your brain, no, but there is a forge upgrading in the main. It might be you. It is you, actually, to answer the question. It is definitely you. So this is the moment. The army's sitting in a pretty... So there's a select all warp gates hotkey. It isn't upgrading when I set it? Okay. You set it at... it's 2:43... It's 2:44 a.m. So a maximum of 1 minute before where we currently are. Let's go back. 1 whole minute. Yes, it could have been sped up. Okay. So, let's put it this way. The +2 upgrade takes 2.5 minutes. Let's say we put it on 2 times speed. Oh, that's the forge in the main. You know what? Strike for me. Though, there was a forge upgrading +2 weapons. So what that implies is you can't read a production tab. So that's a small strike for me. Alright. There you go. That one's for me. But... also, instead of looking in the middle of the screen, if you used, like, basic Starcraft skill, you could see the production tab where +2 weapons, which is by far the top priority, is already being upgraded. And if not in the main, somewhere. Somewhere. So, while I am wrong in a literal sense, you are wrong in terms of what your eyes are seeing and the things you're typing before actually gathering all the potential information to not look stupid. You might be like, well, Winter, I don't actually play Starcraft. And okay. I mean, do you need another shovel? Or is the one you're working with doing it for you already? I'm on mobile. Add 30-second more chat delay. Bullshit! And also, that wouldn't matter. And also, you responded when I said, hey, fuckboy, you're wrong. And I was wrong, actually, technically. You responded in about 10 seconds. I was here. So, you heard me, processed the information, put your sausage fingers on your screen. I don't know why anybody would go through the torture that is typing on fucking mobile, but sure. You made that decision, went this far. And, well, hopefully, Amazon! Oh, I'm sorry. Wow! So, as you know, like, we want to get you the best user experience. So, Alexa, check shovel sales. Home Depot shovels. Buy a shovel. Alright, so those ads should last a while. He's probably on iPhone. Are you on iPhone? Not to stereotype, Snowdrop.
Upgrade complete.
I got a shovel and a bucket. Siri, buy shovels. Okay, Google. Buy me a shovel. And subscribe to Winter Gaming.
Upgrade complete. We embrace the glory of battle.
So, you got two options in life. You could walk up a ramp into a tank line, or not. But we're here already. By the way, while there's half a dozen cloaked banshees, which we saw, this isn't the first time we have seen the banshees. If you would. But it may be the last time.
Mineral field. Base is on attack. Mineral field.
Dude, you're one of the best coaches in the game. What will happen to StarCraft 2 8 years from now? Hey, dude, I really like what you're doing. Do you think you'll be out of a job and have nothing to do and all of your expertise over the years will be completely invalidated in 8 years? What a fucking specific number. If you explain to me why you said 8 years, I'll answer your question. Maybe the OBS just flew into a turret? Yeah, it did. In fact, every OBS just flew into a turret. Because his army control groups aren't exactly, thorough. No. The Banshees weren't the problem, though. The Banshees weren't the problem. The problem was thinking, what if I go up this ramp into tanks and marine? Even if there were no Banshees, that was still one of the worst possible. The Archons were behind the Immortals, both of which have no business going up a fucking ramp. On top of that, as we're bumbling our way into mass murder, there's another command center on the side of the screen. So, if you had any sort of non-tunnel based vision, you'd be like, you know what? Maybe there, like, if nothing else, literally on this, you don't even have to think about it. It's right there in front of your eyes. Even Snowdrop would see it. You got a command center right the fuck there. Go for that. You've got a natural way of distracting yourself from losing every single one of your units. I said 8 years because I am 1 month new player to StarCraft 2, and I love this game. I want to, if StarCraft 2 faces the same fate as StarCraft 1. So, I hope StarCraft 2 faces the same fate as StarCraft 1. I think that'd be a great thing. You might be like, what do you mean? I know nothing. Well, StarCraft 1 is currently one of the top 3 esports in Korea. And you might be like, outside of Korea, it's not huge. No, but it still has, like, if you're desperate for a competitive scene, then there's still a highly competitive scene with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of prizes on the line. StarCraft 1 players get more viewers than me by far. Flash making 40K a month on Africa TV, even though I don't think he streams as much anymore. So yeah, I would love for StarCraft 2 to suffer the fate of StarCraft 1, which is continued success for longer than any other game in the history of esports. You might be like, what about Counter-Strike? Well, Counter-Strike Source or Counter-Strike 1.6 is not being played professionally. We're not getting general on that. ASL is tonight. Flash is playing random tonight. Because Flash, if he wins ASL as random, I think we can comfortably say he beat multiplayer. Like, and he's been... Has he lost yet? I don't... Like, he won as Protoss and as Zerg. And as like, with the last series, I didn't watch it. I should watch it. He played Terran, Protoss, and Zerg, and swept. I think that was the last one. He dropped one map. Oh, fucking terrible. So the summary is, in 8 years, I don't know, and I kind of doubt, that I'll be doing much StarCraft 2. There you go. I said it. But, I'm taking these strikes away. But, 4 years, likely still will be. 5 years, maybe. Like, 5 years is where it gets kind of fuzzy. Definitely for at least 2. Very absolute minimum is 2023, which is when the ESL contract with Blizzard ends with the World Championship in Katowice in 2023, like early 2023. So after that, I'm sure, I guarantee you there will still be tournaments. Take a break from... But... So, that's much better, and I explain this every day now. Every year, 2017, end of the year, is StarCraft 2 going to have WCS next year? We don't know. End of 2018. Cool, that was an amazing finals. Holy shit, Sarah won. Is StarCraft 2 dead next year? 2019. Those finals were only 1 day. People didn't even know what was going on. WCS is kind of going downhill. Blizzard not going great. StarCraft 2's dead for sure now. And then Base God Apollo comes in and says 3-year contract. The last 3 years of us at the end of every year having literal, like, economic and emotional insecurity about our futures was hugely changed by the fact that both businesses, players, content creators, and everything, and fans, like, you know, there's gonna be, no matter how many, like StarCraft 1 hasn't got a balance patch for longer than Raynor has been alive. Raynor was born after the last StarCraft 1 balance patch. And Flash, tonight, is working on winning multiplayer on a balance patch that, once again, was conceived before Raynor was. So, you're like, oh, no more paid content. The only paid content was Starcraft Remastered, which just pissed off all the people who were still playing Brood War, who liked it perfectly fine as it was. Raynor's 19 years old. Brood War came out 22 years ago. From what I understand, there was, like, kind of a patch, like, in 2000-ish. But, like, only for multiplayer, kind of. And that was it. And then they just went with it.
I return to serve. Mineral field.
Okay, so in this game, we already saw what we needed to see. Him running up a ramp into siege tanks, but then he defended and still doesn't know how to hotkey his units or not to hotkey his warp gates. Watch this. Select all warp gates. I just freed up a hotkey for you. Slap some units on it. Congratulations, Fluffy Puppy. You're welcome. That one's free. Even though, I guess you could group it in. It's a package deal. You might be like, Winter, you just tell me to A-move. Yeah, A-move. With your units, attack moving into your opponent. Not half of your units attack moving into a planetary and the other half dying to the army. You don't need 39 zealots with some sort of fucked up ritual where they have to trade places with zealots that die to the planetary, and then 30 supply actually fighting mass marine.
We embrace the glory of sun. I like what
Why no Storm? Okay, I'm done with fucking Snowdrop. Like, either he's not self-aware, or... Oh my god. Or, like, he doesn't actually care. I'm done. Get him out. I didn't ban him. It's just he won't be back for the end of this. Like, you're on mobile. What the fuck are you doing? Why no Storm? Get the fuck out of here. Why no using widescreen like a civilized human being? Yeah, you can't fight with 1/3 of an army every time. Especially, to his credit, Storm would help, but not really if the Templar were on their own, and there's so many medevacs and so many Marines, it wouldn't actually be a huge deal. But if you're fighting 100% of an army with 1/3 of an army every time, this game was not lost to siege tanks or banshees. This game was lost to gross and overwhelming incompetence. When the A-move to masters that myself and every other content creator who actually likes to make money on YouTube does a series, what they mean is put your units in the right spot at the right time, and you won't need to micro them. All of your zealots attacking a planetary while your army dies, and then sending in one warp in, and then sending in another warp in, and then sending in a third warp in like a fucking tower defense game, is not what a move to victory fucking means. To the Terrans' credit, even after failing the attacks, at least he's attacking with all of his units. And that is the winning move. Fluffy Puppy has a gold league Protoss. All that taken into account, it's a B-. You know what? No, it's a B. It's hard not to get to plat if you're actually playing. Get a build. Don't have your build. Get a better one. There are many, many resources. If you can't figure it out, well, that's your own problem. The macro wasn't bad. The micro was effectively non-existent, And that's sometimes a good thing, but that's like you have to when you have a charging bull. Okay. And I base this on every cliche of charging bulls throughout all of entertainment history mostly. You want to put it in the right direction. Otherwise, or I guess if you're the matador with the flag thing, waving it around, you wanted to go in the wrong direction. So I guess you were the charging bull, and you obviously had about as much critical thinking skill and control over yourself and your army. But a charging bull is good. You just send it the right direction. That's what you need. But don't go for the flag. Go for the matador. Oh, okay, run up the ramp. No! Bulls don't climb stairs very well. Think about, would a charging bull do this? Would it ram its horns into this location? Or would it prefer flat ground? So that's what I want you to think before attacking. The macro wasn't terrible, especially not for gold, but it was pretty egregiously bad. Micro and control. We have Cyclops, who's been continually demonstrating his lack of understanding for Starcraft 2. He was so kind as to give us his account information, and I don't just mean your credit card you should use to sign up and both subscribe for 12 months, gift 100 subs to the chat, as well as donate hundreds of dollars in either biddies or cold hard Bitcoin. No. That account. Oh, it said it had one game. But it actually has... Like, wait. What am I seeing here? Why does it say one game and then 8 games? Current season. 1 game. So what the fuck were these games? I have a new computer, so it didn't auto-upload replays. Okay. Then what are those? Those should still count, even if they're unranked. Like, what? I guess the rest of the games may have been unranked. Or placement matches. For some reason, would count. That's season 44. Oh, wait. But they're all in August. All of his replays are in August. It is not August. What am I missing? Oh my god. 2 strikes for me. When I get 3 strikes, I give 10 subs to the chat. When I act as stupid as your average guy in the chat, I do apologize. Alright. There you go. It's silver, so this starts out with a strike. Because Silver League Protoss, like... We saw Gold League Protoss, and that was like... when you lay out all the ingredients for soup, but you don't actually have any liquid. Like, you've got all the ideas, but you don't have a soup. I don't know what it is, but it's not soup. We will see. At least it wasn't a potato analogy. It's potato soup. And it's Protoss versus Protoss. He says, I kicked so much ass. So much ass. Last game. I literally could not believe it. That's what he says. Alright. Somewhat wrong, but close enough. It is Protoss versus Protoss, but Protoss versus Protoss is like... So, I'm excited for Cyclops here. Like, he's doing some scouting. He's looking around. His opponent of course, is AFK. So I'm going to go ahead and say, like, if your opponent is AFK for at least 30 seconds in the game, and you don't kick their ass in Protoss versus Protoss, you may have bigger struggles. But I'm not here to ruin your vibe, my friend. Though maybe you should check out his series if mine doesn't help you. Because you know what? I'm glad you're enthusiastic. I'm excited to find out when the other... Nope, he's still AFK. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Is this why you sent this? Oh, he's back. So, the opponent was AFK for a full-ass minute. 1 minute. This game is 16 minutes long! I mean, let's put it this way. If Usain, like me and Usain Bolt, we're running the 100-meter dash, and I got a 5-second head start, I am still reasonably confident I would fucking lose. Thankfully, your opponent is not Usain Bolt. He's a Silver League Protoss, and now some people who are not fucking Silver League might look in his base and be like, there are no buildings here. But you look in his base and you see nothing because you're a Silver League Protoss. I don't care what your probe sees. I don't care what you see through your probe's eye. But be happy. Yeah, with a 15-second head start, I think I got a good shot. Also, he didn't see anything with the probe because the probe is now fucking dead. So we're gonna, I will give him credit here. I will give him credit. He wasn't looking at the probe, but he did check. He saw no buildings, and his immediate reaction, where are his buildings? Good. Good. Like, now... Like, it hasn't, the red is sus part of this hasn't yet tilted him into forgetting the other parts of his build. That's the danger of, oh my god, where the fuck are his buildings?
Confirmed.
Thank you.
I am almost to diamond, but I keep losing.
You've been almost to diamond for like 3 decades.
Am I just stuck forever in flat?
It's like, what did I just, what was it? Psych. I think it was Psych. What was that show? That had a particularly egregious will they, won't they for like 5 seasons. Good show. I like the show. But like, that's you with flat. I mean, you with diamond. Eventually, sure, you'll get there. But, I mean, it's a little tired at this point. What the fuck have I said about second pylons? Build a second pylon. Pylon! Fuck! Bitches get money. No! 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 Also, by the way, let us follow this logical train of thought. I thought it would waste more time to go up the ramp than go back down the ramp. I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say? Let me, what the fuck? So place the pylon first, then Cybercore. Why did you place the Nexus first? You placed the Nexus before either of those things. If you're so afraid of a proxy, why was the Nexus the first fucking thing? 1, that part. 2, did you not think you need to build... I didn't think that far. You thought far enough to gauge the... Also, by the way, it doesn't take more time to go up a ramp. It just seems like it does, emotionally. You thought far enough to consider the travel time up and down a ramp, or just whatever amount of distance. But not far enough that, if I'm actually concerned about a proxy, maybe getting a Nexus is not the safest investment. Like, I'm giving him credit because he's assuming, well, he never saw his probe, but he's assuming his opponent was not AFK, which is wrong, by the way. His opponent was AFK for half the game to this point, but he saw nothing in his main. It's a fair assumption. But let's assume, like, it's silver. Winter, it's silver. Come on. What can you expect from a silver leaguer? I can expect... Now, I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to do a public goddamn service. If you're going to give me the, oh, he's just silver, and then he sends in $30 to Angry Coach, obviously he's just silver because he spends his time getting disposable income instead of getting better at StarCraft. He's excited to send in his first or second game in a month and a half because he, quote, kicked so much ass against a guy who was in a coma for a minute. And then, so yes, one way or another, I'm criticizing his decision-making. Because in or out of the game, probably both, he's fucked up. But, at least I get paid for it. He's getting, like, 65% of the things. I mean, that's something. Just throwing a few stalkers in the mix. Alright, so we didn't even make it to the Archon part of things. But... it's kind of impressive that we're nearly even on supply after all this. When you said you kicked so much ass, could you explain that statement? I'd like some clarification. I think it's fair to request clarification on what kicked so much ass means. At the end of the game, I guess, after losing my army. Could you repeat yourself? I want you to say it out loud, in person. Say it out at the end of the game, I guess, after losing my army. I kicked so much ass. I mean, you could kick this revolution into overdrive. You could, kick it? Yeah. Can you kick it? Yeah. I don't know how it goes, actually, but... So, like many games, not that last one we saw, but like many games, whenever somebody discovers Archons, it will probably end in their favor. Until then, we're going to build other units like Stalkers or the Stalkers of the Sky, which are Void Rays.
Mineral field depleted. I return to serve. Mineral field depleted.
Immortals aren't terrible. If he builds more, that is. Actually, they kind of fucking are. I mean, I don't mind building half a dozen, but he died to Void Rays. I guess he just, like, for some reason, the other guy stopped building Void Rays. I don't know why. The Void Rays were fucking working for him, but okay. So we get hit by a bunch of void rays. Like, all right, I want disruptors. I want immortal. So I think what kicks so much ass means it's like whenever disruptors are involved. What he really means is I hit 2 disruptor shots. That's what it means. Ta-da! 2 and.
Consciousness awakened. We embrace the glory this time, goddess of exhaustion. My life for hide. I'm here.
I mean, he got 3-3 eventually. For silver, that was quite good. Like, he got more than none upgrades. He didn't build Void Rays. He also didn't build Archons. So, against Coma Man, well executed. I thought I built Archons. Must have forgot. Must have. Like, it's a B. He's gonna get the gold. It might take a bit. But he's certainly, you know what? B+. It's silver. Silver is for people who have only played the campaign, who should have been placed into bronze but aren't because almost nobody actually gets placed into bronze. Or for those who truly do not understand. Why didn't he get Storm there? Like,
Is that all?
YGLHF.
how about that A-? How about fuck you? Respectfully. And I repeat, I kicked so much ass that game. You did not. Like, if you had not said that, and then, like, if you had not described that as an ass kicking against a player who was AFK for a full minute, then maybe it was an A-. But check yourself before you wreck yourself. Oh yeah, Ikamoni once again with the will she, won't she, will they, won't they of being Diamond League. Ikamoni sends in the $30. I thought, was that just like a metaphor? No, not a metaphor, like a philosophical question, because you didn't send a replay. So I'm just gonna assume you just want me to comment on that and not a replay, which is good. Neoplo is an advanced platinum Zerg player against the problem. So and by advanced platinum I mean he's literally like 40 MMR. Man, I've been waiting years for this. Thankfully, though, you played this game a day or two ago. Good luck on your 20th game of Starcraft this decade. Or this year, Cyclops.
Good luck and have fun. You're gonna need it.
Did you just tilt the... No. I think... I'm not crazy, right? Okay. So what are you getting gas for, Neoplo? How do you say it, by the way? Neoplo? Neoplo? Fucking noob? I've heard it all. I've heard it both ways. So what's the gas for? Thought about going roaches. Alright, moving on.
Donation confirmed.
Sorry.
Thank you for the critical thinking tax. Usually you don't invest like a significant portion of your economy on what might happen. But I don't invest enough in the stock market, obviously.
Our forces are under attack.
It's gonna be the same fucking thing you saw the last 3 times. You might be like, what was that? It was a gateway. Now, if we really wanted to know what his tech was, we'd look at the Overlord. And, like, the Overlord, which scouts. But that would be too easy. Instead, like, you might be like, well, 1, you didn't get spores. 2, you've seen the Stargate for, like, okay, you know what? You've seen the Stargate for only, like, 20 seconds here. But if you haven't figured out what he's doing, you need to build spore crawlers at 4 minutes. Otherwise, we'll get back to where we were.
Our drones are under attack.
Like, it is unfucking acceptable for 10 drones to die to an Oracle. And then the Oracle gets away. That is just, that cannot, if you ever, like, even in low, like, bottom of the barrel, like, scraped by diamond, that is unfucking acceptable. So what's after Angry Coach? So in a hurry to move on, are you? That boring? I'm sorry.
Our forces are under attack.
No. Overlord speed is not important. Having 3 gas is not important. Like, what if he puts an Oracle in either of your other bases? What about a lair? We don't need Overlord speed. But what about the Void Ray killing my Overlords? By the time speed is done, it would have already killed all the Overlords it could possibly kill on his side of the map. At least, hopefully. You shouldn't have more than, like, 3. Alright, so I'm gonna need you to walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't care how fast you're walking or what kind of gum you're chewing, but you need to do more when one fucking Void Ray is attacking you than nothing. You need to be able to handle one Void Ray slowly, I know they got a slight speed boost, but slowly making its way across the map. And also doing any fucking thing else. You got 11 larvae. You got 800 minerals. You got 500 gas. And that's after investing in upgrades you're not going to be using for quite a while. But you're sitting here like, oh, I got to get ready for this Void Ray. And the best you came up with was 2 queens. You have, like, if you're so desperate, this is unacceptable. It's not a turn-based strategy game. It's a real-time strategy game. Now, that's proprietary information. A lot of players, even at this level, don't understand that. But at least Mr. Void Ray over there is building another one. Whichever player realizes they're not playing a turn-based game first usually wins around this level. Because both players know what strategy they should be going for. I'm generalizing. The majority of players know, like, I'm going to go for, like, Roach Hydra or Hydraling, and then the Protoss, like, I'm going to go Void Rays and the Charge Lots, or just more Void Rays, I don't know. So they know what they're doing, it's just, it takes a long-ass time to get there, because they are incapable of any semblance of multi... But Winter, multitasking isn't actually a thing. You can't actually do two things at once. It's just rotating your attention between multiple different tasks and prioritizing which of those tasks is most important and doing them in an efficient and timely manner. And to that I say, you know what? I'll give you that point. That's a good one. Well, I'm sorry. What part of two Void Rays screamed, I need roaches? What part of that? Was it the prismatic beams? Was it the beautiful, like, void trails they have? I don't know which part was like, I need some roaches right the fuck now. I don't mind, by the way, getting 3 roaches. What I mind is getting... Oh, wait. You know what? Give it a second. What if... I know, this sounds like a crazy and impossible hypothetical. Mr. Void Ray has Void Rays. What if he has Void Rays? We saw 2 Void Rays. It stands to reason there is a non-zero chance he has 2 Void Rays, based on the fact we saw them. But what if he... Now, I know this sounds crazy. What if he built more fucking Void Rays? What the fuck are you doing about it? What the... No, that's not a rhetorical question. What the fuck are you doing if he builds more... Like, if he has 2 Void Rays, why are we building roaches? Explain why all the economy you've spent so much of this turn-based game building up is going into roaches. Right up until a hard supply block. I thought I would be seeing more ground since I saw gates. But you saw Void Rays. So why, even if you did see more ground, why is attacking with roaches a priority? 2, control your voice. Yeah, did you know Winter has the same mic as Parting? Which explains a whole lot of what's happening right now. Did you know that Parting, when, like, the last time we saw him showering his fucking cat? Not just regular cat. Apparently that was the last stream he did, and now, like, he's had to have either surgery or recovery on his hand. So somebody has to take over. Counter pressure? How about no pressure? How about you don't build units that are countered by the units that you already know your opponent has? How about, instead of being a like, advanced platinum donkey, you use what tiny little bit of critical thinking skills you have and say, huh, he has Void Rays. Those Void Rays aren't gonna kill me. Not counter pressure. Your greatest enemy, strongly into Diamond, probably into Masters, and I say this with some authority, is yourself. You, yourself, and you, as it is known. You sitting here trying to think about how to counter your opponent, instead of countering the fact you're building roaches into a supply block while getting distracted by a single unit at 1,000 goddamn minerals. Why don't you counter yourself next time? The lair that inevitably we got was 2 minutes late. It is... You lost 10 drones to an... Oh yeah, there's an Oracle, remember? Remember the Oracle that murdered a quarter of your economy not 3 minutes ago? He also has that, because that didn't die either, because we have no object permanence. That's not why the Oracle didn't die, it just factors into this whole idea. Holy mother of fuck! Are those Void Rays? Where the fuck did they come from? I can't believe he has Void Rays! My attention span is that of a particularly mistreated goldfish. My 7 roaches aren't gonna do critical damage against someone who has Void Rays and an Oracle? If he had nothing else, no adepts, no shield batteries, then it would be just as, if not more stupid because he would have nothing with which to even threaten us with. But instead, oh my fucking god, he has Void Rays, and I have slow roaches. Still not as slow as you when it comes to actually reacting to information like a goddamn human being who is able to adapt above their baser instincts of fight or flight. Like you're like, oh well, since he's also a fucking Neanderthal, obviously he's gonna see roaches just like the Neanderthals and freak out. Like, what are those roaches are bad, and they don't die. No, this is not 400,000 BC. It is StarCraft 2 in 2020, and people are building Void Rays. Take that into account. Do a little bit of thinking, not too much, and maybe don't fucking build random ass roaches, you buffoon. I don't know. You tell me. He's gonna kill, You know what he's building during this? Jack fucking shit. Well, he finished his roaches. I don't know. Was killing 6 probes. I think that includes the scouting probe. Was killing 6 probes worth 8 roaches. You tell me. Like, I don't know why I attacked with an Oracle. This Protoss is so dumb. Like, why would you do damage to your opponent's economy when you could just let him do it? Then again, the roaches probably wouldn't have been built as a knee-jerk, subconscious reaction to an Oracle killing drones. Well, he hurt me, so I hurt him. No, you've just hurt yourself twice, my friend. That's what happened here.
Mineral field depleted.
Want to relax and play some Star Wars? That shit looked fun as fuck. Yeah, Star Wars Squadrons is one of the best gameplay experience I've ever had. But much like people in Twitch chat, it was unfinished. It never became a complete game. It was not a complete experience. It had so many goddamn bugs, it's essentially unplayable. And any semblance of goodwill that the amazing gameplay would have bought was ruined by the lack of support for it whatsoever. It's not like EA has taken an incredible game and rushed it out or poorly marketed it and then not fixed some glaring and ridiculous issues, especially on a game that's supposed to be marketed as a multiplayer experience, except 20% of people disconnect from the game before it starts, and it's like, oh, you can leave. It's safe to leave. You won't lose MMR. Well, joke's on fucking you. 3 weeks after the game is released, I'm still at 0 MMR, and it doesn't go up, and they say they know it's a bug and have no ETA on fixing it. So yeah, let's relax and play some Star Wars fucking Squadrons, a game that if it had another year in development could have been an esports titan. And I truly believe if the developers were given an actual amount of time to develop more than one mode, that doesn't even fucking work, and not because the game is bad, but because all of the infrastructure surrounding it, but instead we get another Star Wars experience that you will probably fucking buy and put down 3 hours later, but be like, well, it's Star Wars, and since it's 2020, no one's gonna come up with anything original. Don't be fucking ridiculous. You guys excited for Mandalorian Season 2? I like how we built all those roaches, but still somehow another 10 workers are dead to zealots. Oh yeah, roach speed, but like, whatever. Or Hydra speed. Or brain speed. We got Overlord speed. Getting real value out of that one.
Mineral. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
So you see this. You see you're at 100 and you have 1,800 minerals. 230 gas. 141 supply. 70 drones, not bad. What do you do? Oh, what we were really missing out on was slowlings. This is... How did you... Why do I call it Advanced Platinum Zerg? This is what it looks like. Like, he has the little bounce. We've seen enough Zerg today to understand. Like, Colony of Ants will be higher MMR than this next week if he actually plays the game. This is what I mean. There was a... Like, he got upgrades. He got bases. At points, he built drones. But there's still the... Fuck! He has a bunch of cannons, a wall, void rays. Alright. Well, there's nothing left to do but build 20 slowlings. It's not about the resources. Larva is a resource that is continually used and abused, but this is obviously the most egregious. There's no larva left. There's 0 larva after this for 1,300 minerals. Might be like, well, what was he supposed to spend his minerals on? Maybe another hatchery for more larva so he could spend minerals on more shitty-ass Zerglings. It gets a lot worse. Wow. I bet it doesn't. You know what? At first I'm like, oh my god, how does it get worse? You know what? I bet it doesn't. I bet he thinks it gets worse because, remember, he has the attention span of a routinely and traumatized PTSD goldfish. So what that means is he only remembers the last 2 minutes of the game when he dies to fucking carriers and not how terrible it was before. So he doesn't have the emotional memory to realize that this was by far the worst part of the game up until this point. Anything he does from here is mostly understandable because it's actually really tough to deal with Sky Toss, and that continues to be a struggle. But like many games, it's not like the first 5 minutes of the game don't decide every game. But up until like Masters, usually they can. The first 5 minutes where you forget to build a spore, build a bunch of random roaches, and let your opponent get a third base for free while not building any drones because you're microing 8 roaches trying to kill 4 probes. Well, that was all within the first 5, maybe 6 minutes, but it's still like we started down that path in the first 5 minutes. If we could just not be a complete fucking idiot for 5 minutes, then we wouldn't even find ourselves in a situation like, oh, it's so bad, I died to carriers. Everyone dies to carriers. The problem is how we got to that point. That's what we're talking about. And that is almost certainly worse. No, I've been wrong before.
Mineral field depleted.
What is the answer? Corruptors. The answer is corruptors and using any control groups. And this is why everyone dies to carriers, because it's almost required to use control groups. You can't have your corruptors in the same spot as like your hydras or any ground army, because then everything gets stormed 3 times and fucking dies. But since we're 1, not going to get corruptors, 2, not going to get a hive, and 3, not going to use control groups, well, it's kind of a foregone conclusion. Oh, maybe this side will work. Oh, well. Looks like he still has Templar and carriers. At least we remembered a hive exists. Like, usually you would want to, like, start a hive before going into what is obviously a terrible fight for your hydras. But it took not 1, but 2 experiences where obviously it wasn't going to work. Like, on its bare-ass face, it wasn't going to work. He has carriers and Templar. We all know how that... Even if he doesn't storm, it's unlikely to work. But it took 2 tries, and I was like, I guess it's not working. Like, if he had gone Hive, and then given it 2 tries, okay, at least he's thinking forward. But he still hasn't built the Hive! He's gonna lose 30 more Hydras before he builds the fucking Hive! Not 1, not 2, but 3 times fighting with an army that's obviously going to fucking lose before he remembers what he was fucking doing. And the first 2 times, he just had no idea. The 3rd time might be worse, depending on your definition and your interpretation. But he has an infestation pit done, and has for a minute. But he hasn't lost like 45 Hydras, so he hasn't unlocked Hive Tech yet. You haven't poured enough blood of your loyal and your misguided Hydralists into your brain to unlock Hive Tech. Oh look, all the fucking Hydras are dead. This means it's time for a Hive. Finally, have we unlocked Hive Tech? Was that enough slaughter? Was that enough? Blood? For the blood gods? I think so. Really stressed that he uses those minerals. Like, that's brutal. He's not even getting upgrades. What? What are you telling me to stress? What the fuck are you saying? Oh, he doesn't build a hive. It's worse. He just doesn't. It's like, oh, he has a lot of minerals and not a lot of gas. That's not terrible. That's usually players will build like 20 spore crawlers because they know they're not going to win the game with hydras, and they have to have some sort of basic static defense against the attack, so that way carriers just don't walk over anything. So remember, he said at 16 minutes is when things go wrong, when it gets worse. I would argue the first 15 minutes, where he lost about 184 hydras, give or take, was pretty bad. But it's 16 is when it ends. Oh, okay. So it didn't get worse. Definitely before he said it got worse was when it was worse. From that point, it leveled off. It was a plateau. Like, you had established a baseline level of incompetence, or a baseline lack of level of competence, whichever you like. At such a point, like, no, this is par for the course. Like, we already knew this was going to happen. It doesn't get worse, it just doesn't get better. So, wow. Go back to plat. That's a D+. Yes, I know we got upgrades. Yes, I know we got a third. But that was one of the worst cases of turn-based gaming and just lack of awareness and object permanence. You might be like, well, just fix those few things. No, that was ingrained. I've played a lot of games without ever looking at a single replay. Or maybe I've looked at a couple replays and I've skipped to the end fight where I thought Storm was OP. Yeah, that's not the issue here. Go back to plat, please. Stop embarrassing Zergs everywhere. At least people expect this from plat. How can I change my skin color on SC2? I get what you mean. Use the colors command. Watch the YouTube link. Not the clip. Never again clips. Rip clips. Or, here you go. You gotta turn it up all the way to 11. And also, Alt-F. The hotkey is Alt-F. Because sometimes you're stuck on team colors, which changes it. If you use player colors, it takes what you set in that screen. Team colors are different. So just Alt F is the default hotkey, and there's a button on the minimap. So that way you can make those colors pop, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, it doesn't matter to you. Stop worrying about it. We have XBigJ and Icomony, both of which are flirting with Diamond, but really don't deserve. It's out of their league. XBigJ is Diamond, quote unquote, but Icomony has been so close to Diamond for like literally 3 years. Alright, but Jimmy says, I have like 1v1 and on options just shows 2 versus 2. Wait, no, I just explained all of it. If that didn't make sense, I have nothing to add. I intentionally made it as very simple as possible. Anyways, Jimmy says it's time for a quick ad. What? I've been playing for only a year. Log into Starcraft and let me look at your account. Go log in to the WinterSC2 group. And if I am wrong, I will give some subs to the chat. That is the opportunity. So, anyways, quick advertisement. You guys close ad block. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about Prime Gaming. Did you know that if you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it with Twitch and get what was formerly Twitch Prime, but now known as Prime Gaming? It's exciting loot for all the games you love. And by that I mean, you can get, and now this is 100% true as of this exact moment, you can get $2 million. $2 million just for you in GTA Online. You can get a League of Legends 3 skin shards. I don't know how many shards you need for a skin, and I don't know why you'd want it, but if you're someone who is into that, well then you'll be into even more of this at the end. Just hold on to it. You got Smite still exists. You got World of Tanks, Queen Maeve kit. That's not a tank. The fuck? Well, whatever that is, you got that. But wait, there's more. Did you know that every month for free, you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice with Prime Gaming? And if you don't subscribe right here, right now, with that Prime Gaming, it's like losing money for me. So subscribe with Prime Gaming right now, and then go get all that exciting loot for all those games that will probably end up spending more money than it would have cost to subscribe to this stream for a whole year. But thank you, good luck, and good night. Thank you for sticking around. So, Icomony is a diamond Protoss. And, spoilers, he wins the game. But why send... You know what? No. Which book of the Expanse is your favorite? Started reading after the watch party, now on book 3. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but you are a very smart person. The watch party was yesterday. He read 2 books in a day. He's a smart person, guys. He reads a lot. You guys should try it. That's what I got from that. Very smart. Good job. When is your second pound? When's the second pound? I'll be right back. One moment. Thank you for watching. Book 5 or 8. I would like everyone to understand you are useless and ruin it for yourselves and everyone else. What do you do? Alt-F option in game. Alt-F switches between team colors and player colors. Team colors are preset. Player colors are the ones that you set in that tab. That's the difference. Here's team colors. He's on the red team. Here's player colors. I have it set to white, so it turns white. Or you could just...
I have your attention.
This bot.
A few years ago, I got a winter hoodie, and to this day, it's my favorite.
Yeah, I need to get more merch. That's how you do it, right? Like, I need to monetize. More goodly. I thought we were watching Icomony. When I said Diamond Protoss, when does he get his pylon? You're like, huh. I bet it's Icomony, who's a Terran. Well, that's not my fault. Did I say it was Icomony who was the Protoss? Because maybe I did. Maybe I did. You know what? You monetize by selling fucking miracle Chinese tea? Promise people they'll lose 10 pounds and have more energy and shit? You know what? Every time after every time after we do Angry Coach, I'm like 20% more likely to end up doing that. Like, after every Angry Coach marathon, I'm probably like 20% closer, so like 23% then, to considering that as a career option. Because it seems like a incredibly lucrative one, to be honest. Do you make prediction on TY versus Mo? 4-2 TY. TY is too good right now. If they spend all the money on your tea, they can't spend it on Angry Coach. Yeah, I don't have to do jack shit. I can just be like The Rock in everything. I'm not saying The Rock's a bad actor. He's actually a pretty good actor. But like, when you cast The Rock in a role, his role is not, I don't know, businessman number 3. His role is, I am The Rock in space. Like, at some point, let's get there. That's what we're going for. Oh yeah, wasn't he in Voyager? That was before he was really The Rock, though. He wasn't like, but he still played The Rock in space. Fighting championship, essentially. That's what it came down. Like, that was... His role was still The Rock, but in space.
I'm here in the shadows.
You must. Research.
Besides the tech placement, there's not too much to criticize at this stage. Like, there was no real adept scout, but like putting all of your gates and robos where they might eventually get sniped by a single medevac is not ideal. Like, you have a pylon over here that you could have just put them at, but the pylon on time, yeah. Everything was fine. I already knew he didn't get supply blocked. And also, you people didn't make a decision. So, it didn't matter. What was that supply block? That wasn't too bad. Like, Why is the observer... No, the observer should go see. You don't... He could be going like, Banshee. We're pretending to be Diamond here. Come on. Like, is he going Bio? Is he going maybe Mech or some weird Mech opener? Like... Not, I don't want you to spend 20 seconds microing the observer, but, like, is he building more barracks or not? That's pretty much it. Which we have yet to... Because, like, say he's going Cloak Banshee, maybe we don't want to build Colossi quite yet.
You must construct additional pylons. We need more.
What are these batteries for? What are the batteries for? Right, we seem to be convinced. We're building 2 batteries. Like, there's probably like a battering ram coming in or something. We have quite good, surprisingly good. The only thing we see, like the information on the other hand, we have surprisingly good intel. The only thing we see is if there's a direct attack. And the only thing these batteries defend is a direct attack. Thus begging the fucking question of why are we defending a direct attack? I believe I died to a lot of Terran before this. We all have. But yeah, they were... So, like... this. So, just to be clear, all this is going through the motions, not actually to be used... Like, that's decorative only. Like, look, I'm sending an observer out. Not, I'm looking at the observer to observe things. Okay, we got it. By the way, now's a good time to fucking observe things, by the way. I keep saying by the way, but... By the way, now would be a good time... for the observing. Just... It's cosmetic observer. Maybe he does. Maybe he moves his army to his 3rd in order to engage the army he saw moving out. You don't have to look like some, like... Plenty of pro players will see that and won't even move their camera. They'll know it's coming and prepare at the 3rd. And be ready for the army. Why do I have the sneaking suspicion that's not the case? One, the Liberator's right there. We saw the Liberator now twice. And we're not moving any units. Like, not even one Stalker. Not even one Stalker is coming down. Like, it's right there. No respect to that Liberator. Oh, now we're looking on the other side, huh? You might be like, Winter, well, how often do you look at the minimap? The answer is, I always look at the minimap. Or at least 98. The thing is, the minimap should be part of your fucking awareness. Not this. I don't know. There is no solution to that. Essentially, you just force yourself to look at it until it just becomes part of what you're looking at. Like, you're looking at the whole screen, and part of it is the minimap. So, while you might not see every little thing, you'll notice, without actually having to move your camera, a big-ass army is no longer in the base. That's how you see, like, pro players. They're always scanning the right spots. How are they doing it? Because they see the little bits of the minimap. They don't have to look at it with their camera to understand where the army could be. But, and I'm not offering any real solutions. Like, I don't know, put a fucking pendulum or some sort of timer every 5 seconds to just stare at the minimap for half a second until it becomes ingrained. But I don't really, like, that is one of the most difficult things and only really comes from playing, and it doesn't come from playing more. It comes from playing more and actually playing the whole game. Because you're never going to train. You might play 1,000 games, but if you're proxy rexing or turtling on 2 bases, 90% of the time, you never have the obligation to look at the minimap. You are never putting yourself in a position to need to look at the minimap. So, no matter how many times you're jerking yourself off, that doesn't mean it's going to do it for other people. You need to have new and more profound experiences, like dying to fucking siege tanks. We're mixing some metaphors here, but we've all died to siege tanks 1 or 2 times in our lives. So, I am giving XBigJ credit. He is playing like a player who will eventually learn to see the minimap. But, not this game. He's not there yet.
Finished learning.
Like, this is what I don't understand. You're warping in Stalkers in the main. There's a Liberator on the screen at the natural. This is a weird amount of self-restraint here. What the fuck? How did you know? I didn't see that. Did you see something, or are you just fucking lucky?
Oh, a follower. Is that all?
Did I might have missed something. Of course, I'm not playing the game actively. They always Widowmine drop. Yeah, but what about the fucking army at the third that's about to kill your third? Like that? So you're predicting the Widowmine drop. Don't believe what your lying eyes see. You understand in your mind that Widowmine drop is the build. Except it's one fucking Widowmine. I guess technically, yeah. Sure. But like, you have had on your screen, one way or another, a main attack and a Liberator, and you're defending against the ghost of a Widowmine drop? What the fuck? And every now and again, they actually do Widowmine drop, so you just keep going on that. This is not what the takeaway should be. Like, 1 out of 4 games, we catch the Widowmine drop, so therefore, that's the only thing we need to defend.
Mineral field depleted.
Except the problem is, like, 1, the select. Oh my god! Holy fuck! It was a Widowmine the whole time. The whole time. By the fucking way. The fuck is that? Huh? Ignore it. It's just a radar blip. And also, by the way, the Liberator that has been on the screen for the last minute, the only thing that we have had a incredibly and overwhelmingly disproportionate and thorough response to was the only thing you didn't scout. And I just need to keep repeating it until I fail, eventually accept that I failed to impress upon you how fucking dumb that is. It is like, it's like Facebook, where instead of the 12 things you see that you know to be true, and you know they're true, just ignore those because that one other thing that you think is true was proven. It's like, well, there actually is water on the moon. Well, there was water on the moon before. But does that mean aliens?
Base is under attack. Our cute little probes. The minerals have up and gone.
So, thankfully, I do applaud you for sending a replay with such a great demonstration. He wins this game handily. Why? Because it's a Diamond Terran. And executing a 3-pronged attack essentially overheated his perfectly water-cooled RGB CPU he has for a brain that's running Windows Me with great speed. But then he has to pause for an update and spend 2,200 minerals. So that's like the difference between Maru and that Diamond Terran is Maru already spent those 2,200 minerals. But that's besides the point. So for XBigJ, he's got the units he needs. He has the build that kind of makes sense. By the way, these shield batteries really paying off, aren't they? but he kind of like has his basic program and he's never patched it. Okay, we're good. We're good. I've been playing Game Dev Tycoon, all right? You guys may have seen. You might be like, Winter, where can I see that? On my second channel, which you guys know about and gets hundreds of views. So make sure to check that out, by the way.
Hey, they're attacking our base.
Bird World, Fight or Flight. Smash hit. The Liberator killed all the probes! The Liberator that has been on the screen for a minute and a half now killed all the probes at the gas, and then he moved it, after killing all the probes, during all of this, onto the mineral line, where he will now slaughter the rest. After XBJ comes to defend his already dead Nexus. It's beautiful. I compliment you, good sir. Like, now a big issue a lot of players have, and people in general, when it comes to learning a skill, it's consistency. It's like me in Rocket League. It's like there's a 70% chance I'm gonna get a good hit on the ball, and a 30% chance I'm just gonna fucking whiff. But this is a demonstration of perfect consistency. So XBigJ has perfectly prioritized the third most important thing at every point in this game. Like, from the start, with the shield batteries, like, what's the third most important thing? A direct attack. Attacks from the sides or harass or Widowmine drops were probably the most important to consider. We didn't consider those. Here, what is the third most important thing? Is it attacking this army? Well, that's probably... You know what? I don't have a second most important. But maybe killing the Liberator, which already has 9 kills. And counting. You know what? How about we just slow it down to normal speed, which is like 75%. And we're just going to watch the probes die. How many? You know what? Let's take a guess. It has 9 kills. How many total? 10 to 14, 15 to 20, 21 plus. I don't even think, like, there are 29 more. All right. You got 30 seconds. It has 9 kills. Where does it end? I've already said nobody wants to listen or read what you're saying, XBJ. Don't worry about it. All right, looks like consensus around 15 to 20. We'll see. Huh. It's just 12, you idiots. God, should have listened to XBJ. He already told you. But then, can you trust him? That's a fair question.
The minerals have up and gone.
I want to point out, you saw that attack, like, one more time. You saw that attack a minute before it hit. You saw the Liberator a minute before it started killing probes. But all of this was still entirely successful because a Widowmine drop out of fucking nowhere, but the night terrors in your goddamn mind came in.
Mineral field depleted.
He's still winning because macro is more important than micro, but it's just so fucking stupid. It's just impressive and consistent. I didn't even check if we saw that one, but feels like we probably could have. Oh. This has some complaining about Protoss at the end, I assume. Because this guy is definitely a Maru or Big Gabe fan. Like, he is a sweaty Terran player. And it's working, but not really, but it is. Because you are playing like a donkey. Donkeys can get far. That's what they're known for, but not quickly. And they're not particularly agile or smart. I don't know, are they? They might be smart, but they can't really act on it very well.
The minerals have up and gone.
But a donkey. Can we recheck the Liberator kills? It was about at that moment. I don't care about how many total kills it gets. It was that moment and how long it takes to react.
And they're out of here.
So, that was one of the most dramatic cases there. It got a total of 17. That doesn't count. Nobody cares. This is a tough one. Because there are some, there's some really bad habits backed up by some solid macro. And it's Diamond 3, right? Yeah, it's bottom of the barrel Diamond 3. It's a B-. Like, just donkeying across the map will usually work, because most players won't be so technical, and probably shouldn't be. But wow. The priorities were good, but also very bad. So, Icomony, did you log in SC2, by the way? Alright. So, we're going to take a look. He's achieved Platinum twice, 1,000 career games. Worst matchup, TVT, understandable. So, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So, when did you change your name? Is my question. When did you change your name? No, we'll say about a year. Never? Then, pray tell, who is Auschwitz on the SC2 Replay Stats account? It's my EU account to practice. You know, what the, and also, that's a lie, by the way, but I cannot stress this enough. Fuck! I just passingly noticed it because we were going over the, I've only played it a year. I haven't played on that in a while, though. No. If you're like, I just can never seem to get diamond. I just don't know what's going wrong. And you're also, I'm not going to try to get into details because nobody wins here. But, if you're like, I'm going to log on to EU to practice, account name, you're like, Auschwitz. Well, then maybe you should rethink every decision you make from the ground up. Just all of them. Just take a second look or third or keep going until you come up with something new. With that said, I truly believe Icomony doesn't actually mean what it could be easily interpreted as. I truly believe that after a year. But he also doesn't seem to understand why it could mean those things, and thus, why not Diamond? Yeah, the EU part definitely makes it worse, but I don't think we thought that far. Like, that is indicative of the level of decision-making, not so much the intent. Which is better, not good, better. Not good, though. If this was a rando person who had not sent in before, then I would be like, that's 3 strikes and you're out. Let's just put it that way. But I do believe it. We can leave it at that, and we'll see now in-game why he makes such bad decisions.
Good luck, have fun, and beat him, probably.
SC. Be ready. SCV ready.
You must construct supply depots.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
Command center upgrade.
This isn't 4chan or 8chan or Senpai-chan. So let's try our best not to be.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
Let's just, there you go. No chance of any Jackie Chan, maybe. I'll allow that.
Ready.
But that's about it. That's where it ends.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
You're at us. The enemy is
No Galaxy Chan. No Galaxy. Oh my god.
all over your SCV.
Okay, maybe Galaxy Chan.
Be ready.
Also, why are we going Hellions? Why Hellions? You know what? It might be better if he didn't speak. No one goes Hellions. There are a huge number of TVTs lately, because despite Terran's best efforts, they keep winning things and getting to the finals. King of Battles, TVT Finals. With a whole bunch of high-level TVT before it. GSL, TVT Finals, coming up. And in every single one of those TVTs, I have yet, after casting, and I just casted Hero Marine versus Clem yesterday. As well, like, of all of the TVTs in the last several weeks and months, I have not seen a single person go for Reactor Hellions. Thus implying that maybe we haven't put any effort in to learning any builds in TVT.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add-on finished up. You picked that one?
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Well, this build is 1, not a build, 2, terrible, 3, very terrible, 4, maybe never build Hellions.
Ready to raise some.
Chan is you. Shiba. Stop.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Your add-on has been CC upgraded.
The fuck? What just happened?
Add-on is CC upgrade done.
I was like, did I miss something? No, I didn't miss anything. He just shot his own tank. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but like, I don't know what to say. This is not like, opening Hellions is not a thing people do. This is not remotely a build that has any, like, we're gonna assume if you're trying to get to Diamond and you're actually trying to improve, you're gonna at least try, make a small attempt to learn from what players who are better do. And like I mentioned, there's so many. You don't have to go Ravens. You don't have to actually micro Ravens, but at least take away from it not Hellions. It's not Hellion. The answer is not Hellions. Maybe a couple at the start, but it doesn't end up being, oh yeah, and then we just keep going Hellions. I haven't seen a game in a month, at least. I'm just going off the last month, which has so many. Like, and I don't, like, maybe like one super cheese build a few months ago during one game of like a best of 7. But I doubt it.
Research is done. A mineral
Part of the reason you don't go Hellions is because they don't even kill Marines with upgrades. Like, you still need tanks. They just don't kill anything.
A mineral field. Add-on complete. Mineral field.
This guy actually doing effective Doom drops. Never mind. Then he ruined it.
Research complete. Have we learned?
Well, all the SCVs are dead.
You took all the minerals from that cluster. Can't land there.
Hellbats aren't bad with tanks to tank for the tanks. But Hellions just aren't very good in TVT. There are better Terran units.
Base under attack. Time to lift to the corner and pray.
Did I just see like a supply drop? Like, that was like 8 of them. Ah, that's not good.
Your base is under assault. Mineral pad is gone. It's not coming back. You're
Well,
all mined out of that mineral field.
feel like this was entirely predictable. The upgrades are currently +2 attack versus 2/2. Well, the other Terran wasn't really focusing on the upgrades perfectly either, but here we are. Sheba.
You're all mined out of that mineral field. Your precious base.
Yes, Senpai. No!
Base under attack. Time to lift to the corner and pray. Mineral.
What should the minerals think? Hellbats are fine. Like, usually it's like tanks, some Hellbats, some Thors. I mean, like, 15 tanks, 4 Thors, and then air control is the focus. Air control is the focus no matter what phase you're in. Whether it's Marine tank, mech, or late game, air control is what kind of decides the vast majority of later, like, TVT matches.
SCV's under attack. Save the boy.
That's why. That is why when you go for 3 factories before a starport, you end up losing map control. Or at least effectively.
Can't hold them alone.
Your SCVs will be DED if you don't stop. Mind out of that cluster. Just another replay to send in.
Oh. All the SCVs are dead.
Mineral patch is
To drops. Because we're building Hellions. Against everything. And they barely counter themselves. So that was a weird ending to Angry Coach tonight. Let this be some form of a lesson to relevant people. So that was, yeah, that looked like Platt. The macro was good. The decision making was not. You might be like, well, he deserves worse than a C. No, in-game he deserves a C. And then I'm willing to let him off with a big, strong, bolded yikes. Alright? And let's hope it doesn't go any further than that. He gets a C and a yikes. Because, 1, take any GSL finals coming up, at least steal from that, if nothing else. 2, yikes. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed this mini marathon of Angry Coach, which ended up being like three-ish. I don't know however many fucking hours. In regular hours. But thank you for watching, like, and subscribe, and all that. See you next time. But first, Sheba will explain the difference between Senpai and Chan. Keep your eyes on the chat. I will take this time to say check out all these amazing videos. I will say that I have no problem with weebs, but I wouldn't go out of my way to have any situation where I would have to make a decision on whether or not I have a problem with weebs. I hope that makes sense. So now's your chance. And we're filming this, if you would, before the GSL finals. I think TY is just ridiculous. Like TY is so good at not just StarCraft. Let's think about it. TY got into casting. So even if he didn't perform as a player, he's got a paycheck, right? So, like, he's casting. You know how it is. Like, if you can't play, you cast. And then he's like, you know what? Actually, I'll also play and win. And even though every time he plays, it looks like he wants to give up and go, like, live in a hut on a desert island, and just be done with this shit, he still wins. And when he wins almost. When TY wins, it looks more dominant in a good and, yes, that kind of way. Yeah, keep taking notes, guys. More than anyone else, more than Maru, sometimes more than Cyril. When TY 4-0'd stats, spoilers, and it looked like a 4-0. Like, there's some 4-0s where, yes, it's 4-0, but it doesn't look like a 4-0. Like, there's so many games that could go back. No. He 4-0'd stats. He made stats look like he's in another league. Like, Diamond. He did that with Cure in the GSL finals, not in the King of Battles tournament. I don't know what happened there, but so not only is TY casting for GSL, I assume they get a salary. They don't get paid hourly for casting. At least I hope not. So he's getting paid a salary for casting GSL, but he doesn't even have to cast like most of the time, including the finals, because he's in the finals. He also gets the money for qualifying, and then probably, in my opinion, winning. So he's getting his caster salary, plus his prize-winning salary without even having to work. Like, that's good macro in and out of game. What a fucking genius. If he wins or loses, he's still making tens of thousands of dollars on top of whatever they're paying him for casting. So, macro god. That's all I have to say. That's how this ends. Thank you, senpais. Winter, that's not how... Well, how do you know? Arigato.